Today we're going to be looking at my really bad Sky Striker deck and how it's carried me so far through the game. Don't be like the 33% of you guys have not smashed the crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can get further along. Alright, so today we're going to be looking at my pile of Sky Striker, as we're going to call it here. This deck has actually been the carry for me. I've done some pretty crazy things here. The first thing you're going to look at here before you click off this video in an absolute rage is you're like, why the heck are you playing Righty Driver, Robbie? So my logic behind this was, in the very early stages of the game, while hand traps are locked behind these absurd ultra rare price points here, my logic with this was, well, I want an easy to get to package to access Code Talker in the game. And I found that to be relatively easy. The fact that on turn 2 beyond, that this card actually becomes massively a powerhouse, or if you open up, say, the Hornet plus the Righty Driver, you can make access Code Talker in the game. Now, this thing has the effect of, for Synchro Summon, you can substitute this for any, we don't care about that. If this card is normal summon, you special summon a Lefty Driver from your deck or graveyard. It can only use this effect once per turn. Well, that's amazing, because this substitutes our additional piece. Now, the amount of times I've opened this stupid card has been absolutely absurd. Alright, you can make it a level 3 on special. We don't care about that. The only thing you care about is the fact that this is a tuner monster that special summons the Lefty Driver, so you can get into Halky Fibrax and start smashing your opponent in as you blink climb up and then make the access Code Talker. Alright? Now, I'm only playing double effect value. Now, the logic behind this is pretty simple. Alright, you need it for Selene. Alright, remember, it's 2+ monsters, including a spellcaster type monster. Now, don't be surprised when I tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, but if you end up seeing multiples of these, it's not a big issue. Alright, the big thing is, when you go into your Hulk turn, alright, you just need any sort of tuner monster to get the Hulk. Hulk is going to special summon the Selene from the deck. Alright, and then you're going to take the Selene and your Hulk, and you're going to shove them together, and you're going to make Selene here. Now, once you've met your conditions for this, you place spell counters on this card equal to the number of spell cards on the field and in the graveyards. Alright, we don't care about anything else that this card does, except for the fact of, during the main phase, you're going to remove 3 spell counters from this card, target a spellcaster monster, or special summon a spellcaster from your hand or graveyard in defense position to a link arrow that this points to. Alright, now that's easy pickings. Alright, you just revive that stupid effect ability that you brought off of the Hulk, and then guess what, guys? You make access Code Talker, and then your access Code Talker will be 5,300 attack points. Alright, I know a lot of the veterans already know what these power cards do. I'm mainly explaining this stuff for new players that are coming into Master Duel here, taking a look at these points, and you're like, oh, okay, so this is why we're doing this. Now, I'm only playing 2 Maxi. Now, this isn't because I don't have 3 Maxi. Crafting 3 Maxi was never an issue at all. I just kind of found that I wanted to kind of play other cards. Now, also in a format where in the very low stages of grinding until you start to hit meta, this card's not amazingly good. Alright, sometimes you'll get +1s off of it, and that's really about it. And I was like, is this worth justifying the multitude of slots for? And I found 2 to be most optimal for the time being. The higher I climb up the ladder, I'll probably change and shift to 3, but for now, 2 of this was fine. We're also only playing 2 effect failure for now. The logic for, because we're only playing 2 Ash. The logic for this was I have the Lefty and Righty Driver in the deck. There'll probably become a time where I will shift to the 3 Ash and to the 3 Maxi, and probably to the 3 effect failure, and just cut all of this out and just optimize the deck probably on 40 cards. Like, to be honest with you, this, and this are excellent fill-ins for you to do your thing. Alright, now, for Sky Striker Engine, we are playing 3 Ray. If you're not playing 3 of the best darn card in your deck, please don't play this deck. Alright, it's a rare, it's affordable, you shouldn't have an issue getting 3 of these. We're also playing 2 rows. Remember, this does act as a pseudo extender for the deck, and you actually have this other ability down here with this that actually grants you the ability to negate the effect of an opponent's monster in some niche situations. Now, don't underestimate this card, because that's actually absurd. Now, one of the things that this deck actually has going for it here is Pankratops. Now, a lot of times you probably have seen Pankratops being cited or mained, or, you have builds that are going second. Now, the reason I chose to play it right now is it just gives you a better option for going second if you end up seeing it. If you see it and you're going first hand, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. All right, now, with the ban list the way it is currently in the game, Upstart Goblin is at 3. You can play 3 draw 1s to load up additional spells into your grave. I haven't explored, I can't afford multiple ultras of these yet. It's one thing that I am considering, and as well as this, one of the most notorious cards in the game is also in here, Checking Game. You have 6 additional spell cards here that you can just mill off from your deck and draw further in and set up spell cards so you can do your thing. So if you're looking at this build and you're like, well, where's the triple Upstart Goblin? Where's the triple, Checking Game? I haven't had time to craft them or test them yet. One has been working out pretty fine for me. I haven't needed more than that. We also have the 1 copy of Rhoda searchability for our engine here. Now I'm playing the 1 Pot of Avarice. Now the logic for this is actually because this stupid card is limited to 1 over here. I cannot take advantage of going like full crazy turbo recyclability on these. So I'm playing the 1 Avarice just so we can recycle back the Kagari. It can come up as a dead draw sometimes. Sometimes it gets banished off of the Desires. It's really up to you in terms of the deck building if you want to play the Avarice. We did see a lot of Avarice playability in the earlier stages of this game. It's not totally unheard of at the end of the day. And I'm playing double Desires. Well, you're like, oh, why would you play Desires in this deck? Well, because sometimes you need to draw cards. All right, you're not always going to see Engage in your opening hand. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've seen my Engages get banished off of my Desires. You can still win the game. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but you still can Shizuku for, your afterburners, get those bad pieces off the opponent's field. All right, like, this isn't the end-all be-all. This is a generated resource so that you can play the game, ladies and gentlemen. You need that draw power, all right? Sky Striker noobs might not be able to handle losing those resources, but for where I'm sitting right now, that's fine, all right? You don't really lose much off of losing your Engages. You can still play the game, all right? You have 2 copies of Afterburners for popping. 2 is fine, all right? I'm currently playing 1 Jamming Waves because there's no side deck, so you kind of got to have your option trees built a little bit more into this deck, all right? I'm also only playing 2 Area 0. Don't try to get cheesy and play less. This card's really good. We also have triple multi-roll. This is the best damn card that this deck has going for it, all right? Getting that crazy reusability is nuts. Now, I'm playing 2 Twin Twisters in the main. This just gives me an additional drop of a spell card, and I've ran into a lot of back row decks. Like, Eldritch has been a wee little bit of a problem, all right? So one thing I wanted to focus on was the ability to kind of take advantage and drop resources into the graveyard. Very easily cut these for Upstart Goblins if you really want to. We have the 1 Hornet Drones for token generation, 2 Widow Anchors, best card in the deck, and then we have 2 copies of Eagle Booster. Being able to protect your Shizuku during your opponent's turn so you don't die to something like a stupid Chaos Max. They didn't open up like the Shien Spy or something like that. This card is very solid for your 3 of game. And then we have 1 Shark Cannon, and then currently only 2 Imperm. I didn't want to take the deck to 30 or to 42 at the moment. 41's been fine. Now, extra deck here. Best card in the deck, next to Widow Anchor, and to, Engage and multi-roll. Generational, or gets back a resource. It's absolutely amazing. Shizu here, searchability for any of our spell cards when we want. Hayate for dropping key pieces in the graveyard. Now, I'm playing 2 Kindness. This just gives us defense during the opponent's turn. Nothing really too crazy. We're also playing the 1 Hauk. Yes, Link Climbing. We are playing 2 Zeke. I have found that this comes up quite a lot. I know a lot of builds would probably only like to play 1 of these, but when you Widow Anchor, take something from the opponent, you need to have an outdoor resource to kind of climb up and exit the opponent's monster. So that's why we're playing 2 of these. Playing 1 Unicorn for bounceability off of the opponent's resources. Also, in case we can't make the Selene, this gives us an extra Link 3 that we can climb up into. And then we have 1 Selene, and then the 1 Axis Code Talker, kind of wrapping up what we're doing here for our particularly interesting hybrid. All right, this is the budget player's option of making Hulk turbo, ladies and gentlemen. So this is what's carried me through the very early days of this game. I've had a lot of fun playing this deck, and I'm really just going to say that Sky Striker best deck. Guys, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on. There was some cool awesome content. Peace out, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.